It is looking like Kosta Nedeljkovic's transfer to Aston Villa is all but finished. We've heard different reports about the fee, anywhere from 7.5 million euros and 12% of next sale. And then I've also heard 9 million euros plus 15% of next sale. So um, don't know exactly what the fee is. I think that'll be clearer in the next few days when he does, I guess, officially sign for Aston Villa. But just wanted to quickly talk about the transfer, especially for the Aston Villa fans who are here, who want to know about the player, what he's like, strengths, weaknesses, and kind of what to look forward to with the official signing of Kosta Nedeljković. So he turned 18 last month. I think it was December 16th, so almost exactly a month ago. Recently signed a contract until 2027. He's worth 2.5 million on transfer market, and he is a right back who I think he hasn't played as a right wing back, but I think he's someone who can play that position as well. I know Unai Emery doesn't usually play with wing backs. I think there's been 2 or 3 matches this season where he has, um, kind of utilized that 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2 or whatever you want to call it, system of formation. I think he can play that. And again, he hasn't, but I think his attributes and his strengths and weaknesses, um, with those on full display, I think he could play both. With 4 at the back and 5 at the back. Represented Serbia at the U17, 18, and 19 levels, and very soon he will be playing for the national team, which is why a lot of people were kind of mad that Red Star did sell Kosta Nedeljković at in this time during this transfer window, because his price will no doubt rise once he's on the national team. Obviously, a lot of you probably don't know about the Serbian national team, but a lack of left backs, and right backs. He's a right back who's probably going to get a chance to start, and if he does impress, he should be starting at the Euros in, I guess, 5-6 months now. So he should be starting there if he does impress. Blago Blabber gave him a chance in the preseason tournaments where Red Star did end up winning in Russia, that preseason tournament. So, and pretty much since then, he's kind of eased them into the lineup from regular season matches into the Champions League. First 2 Champions League matches, he didn't play. And then I think he played something like 25 minutes against Red Bull Leipzig. And the next match, played more. And then as the matches went on, he played more and more, capping her off with, I think he played a full 90 against City, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember off the top, or 75 minutes, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But he got more playing time as the Champions League did go on. So tip your hat to Blago Blabber, who is no longer the manager at Red Star. He ended up getting sacked for giving him a chance to play. Kosta Nedeljković ranks 10th on the Red Star team in terms of minutes played. So for a 17-year-old at the time when he was 17, 10th most minutes on a team that's um, I wouldn't say too old, because Blago Blabber did give a lot of younger players, but there's a lot of veteran players on this team, guys who are, 27, 28 years and older. So he was a number one choice right back for the team. I guess the second half of the first half of the season, so to say, and he was started at the position regularly. And like I said, with the lack of right backs almost at all for the national team, he's going to get a chance to play there, and he could become a pivotal part of the national team, which would cause his price to skyrocket. Before I go any further, if you guys like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. He's either the best or the second best prospect in this Red Star team. So Jovan Mijatovic, who has actually been in the news as well these past few days, with the City Group interested in him, and Bayern Leverkusen. So they're kind of 1 and 2 with Red Star in terms of who is the top prospect, but they're top 2, top 3, 100%. Maksimovic, another kid who's coming up, he's probably that third prospect, I would say. So the 2 of them are at the top there, and they're the guys that are going to fetch Red Star the most money, or what a lot of people think is a lot of money. Is around 184, I was going to say meters, 184 in terms of height, so that's about 6 feet tall. Great size for a right back. I'd honestly say that he might, on TV, he looks even a little bit taller. It could be just the positioning of the camera and what have you, but he looks like he's taller than 6 feet. I would almost say 6'1" or even 6'2". Um, Lanky-ish player, I would say. Like I said, he's a tall build, and he's probably will have to put on some muscle, especially playing in the Premier League. So that's something that he's going to have to work on. I think his movement and his ball crossing are his best two attributes. So offensively, he's always trying to get into open space. So a perfect example is, if you guys have the time to check on YouTube, his match against Manchester City in the Champions League. A lot of movement, a lot of give and goes, looking for the open space, looking for the pass back from the players like Kanga who are in the lineup, Bukhari, players like that. So he's always looking to get into open space offensively and to create havoc on the opposition. He's a great crosser of the ball for an 18-year-old. I wouldn't. I don't know if he's had too many chances to kind of do that playing at Red Star, and depending on the formation that we do play. But when he is in the offensive third and he does have a chance to cross the ball, he's going to cross it. Whether that's from 10 yards out or 20 yards out, he's going to look to whip in the ball. And I think the confidence of doing that as a young player, as a 17, 18-year-old, I think that's huge, and he can only get better in that aspect of the game going forward. But I would say for a 17-year-old, I would probably say I was most surprised by that part of his game, and that's only going to continue to grow from now on. Defensively sound for the most part. I think his long strides and his speed allow him to make a quick recovery if he does get beat. So even if he does get beat, he's not completely out of the play, because his speed does allow him to get back into the play in his long strides, and he's able to muscle guys off the ball. Like I said, he's a little bit lanky, but he still does have um, some kind of force and strength to him. He will have to get better at that. I'm comparing him what I've seen at the Serbian football level, which is a lot lower than the Premier League, and when he did play in the Champions League. So mind you, an aspect of his game that looked really good in the Serbian League might be an aspect of his game that he's going to have to get better at when he does get to the Premier League. So that's just, I'm kind of going off what I've seen so far from him, and I've watched a lot of his games, being a huge Red Star fan, so I kind of do know the nuance and the things that he will have to get better at. Less ball watching going forward. I think there's been some goals that Red Star has conceded this season where he's kind of ball watched and not really reacted quickly. Now, with experience and playing time and all this other stuff, he's going to get there. Mind you, he's only played, I think, something like 15 matches for Red Star. Like 15 matches of professional isn't a lot of matches, right? And last year he played at the tier 2 level with Grapičar, who is Red Star's affiliate. So he does have some experience with that, but it's a completely different game. So you're going from tier 2 to tier 1 to Champions League, playing against the best team in the world, Manchester City. So it's like these are huge strides that he's made within the last year, or even 8-9 months, right? So that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. Can be slopping with his passing and precision. Um, Sometimes when he receives the ball kind of bounces off of him, where he doesn't necessarily stop the ball the way that he should, and kind of survey the field and look for the next correct pass. So that's something that he's going to have to work on as well. And again, with game time experience, playing at a big club, that's something that he'll get better at. I have no issues with that as well. Um, it's just, again, with experience and being around better players and learning from some of the guys that Aston Villa has, like the Matty Cashes and the Konzas and things like that. He's going to get better at that aspect. I have no issues with that as well. No fear is what I love about him the most. The match that he came on against Red Bull Leipzig, I can't remember. I think he actually started that one, but there was no fear from minute one. Like, if you watched him play, you would think that he is currently playing in like the German league against Leipzig. Like, there was just he just didn't seem in awe at any of the players that he was playing against, and it was like that against City as well. I'll say one thing though: the City match that we did play, which was the sixth match day of the Champions League, City did run out a lot of their bench players and their B team, so to say, and some C team guys. So you might say, well, it's not the same City team. That's fine, but the City players are still 5, 6, 7 times worth more than him, and he looked like he belonged. Like, he didn't miss a beat. A few tackles on Grealish where it was like a grown man tackle and a grown man push off the ball to recover possession and to start an attack. And I gotta say, I loved seeing that from him. He had a really good chance actually in the City match as well, where he kind of faked a shot, took it on his left, and just shot it over the goal, which I would have loved if he scored that, because he's a young kid and he fully deserved it. But yeah, that's the thing I love about him and a lot of players on this Red Star team, the younger ones especially. There's just no fear. They They feel like they belong here, and they're not scared of anyone. The one question is like, what's the plan heading into next summer for Kosta Nedeljković? Is it to stay with Aston Villa? Is it to go on loan? I know that Matty Cash has started at right back. Ezri Konsa has started there in the last, I think, like 7, 8, 9 matches. So what happens with that? Does he go out on loan? I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. If he does go on loan, I hope it's to a Premier League club and not to a Championship level team. Um, I think those are pretty much the two biggest questions, right? What happens with Matty Cash, and is he going to have a starting position as a right back? Right now, I'd probably say no. I think that he will go on out on loan, or he's going to play with the Aston Villa U21s. But that's, I mean, we remain to see what's going to happen. And I think it'd be impressive with Serbia at the Euros. In all honesty, I think Unai Emery is going to have some tough decisions to make with Kosta Nedeljković, like to loan him out or to keep him. And I think the preseason is going to be extremely important for him because it's a new country, and if he can prove himself, he could start right away. We just don't know. We've seen crazier things happen in football with young players getting playing time when they're young, so this could be one of those. So for the Aston Villa fans, um, if you are watching, thank you for watching at this point. If you have any more questions or concerns, let me know in the comments. Would love to know what you guys think about the signing, how he fits in with the lineup. Do you think he's going to get loaned out? Do you think he's going to get a chance? Is he going to go with U21s next season? Yeah, basically just let me know in the comments. Take care, guys.